Thank you very much for tuning to the Uche Rise Show. I'm your host, Mr. Uche Ernest. All right. Give you a drive time conversation for today. This is going to lean a little bit on a religious tip. I found myself at odds with my pastor on Sunday after service. Y'all know which church I attend. You know who my pastor is. And this was one of Pastor Joel Osteen's most critical messages. Usually he's not that critical, and often he's been criticized of just telling the good news about the Bible. So the message that he preached on yesterday, he used as an example the story about the prodigal son. What's that? Luke 15 verse 11 through 32. So in it, he was talking about people with friends, family members that that pretty much use them. People that try to guilt you into giving them money. People that try to, people that you help and they refuse to help themselves. And he was just saying that at some point you need to just let them go. Whether it's a child, it's a spouse refused to be happy. You keep trying to make them happy. Child won't get right. You keep trying to get them right. Sometimes you just need to let them go and let them pretty much, come to the point where they have nothing, they have nobody. Okay. And when he was preaching about that, I just, I was uncomfortable with it. I just didn't agree with it. I just didn't agree with it because, and here's the thing why. Here we are, Palm Sunday just finished, and next Sunday is Easter, and your church is probably going to be more packed. No, not probably. Your church will be more packed than it has been all year, okay, or at least since Christmas. Put it like that, since Christmas, because and that's why I criticize Christianity and Christians sometimes. We have fair weather Christians that only come to church 3 times a year, okay? Maybe 4 if they have a tragic situation come into their lives, okay? But I mean, they only come to church 3 or 4 times a year when you're really supposed to come every Sunday, all right? But anyways, moving on to the message and why I disagree with it. And the story about the prodigal son, I'm sure you all have heard it. There's 2 sons. The oldest son, wants to go out on his own, tells his father, give me my share of my inheritance right now. I don't want to wait till you die. Give it to me right now. I want to go and do my own thing. Son goes out, squanders his inheritance, his half of the inheritance. Is brought to the point where he's pretty much eating with pigs and realizes that even the servants that work for his dad live better than he's living right now. So he finally humbles himself, returns home. The father doesn't even, care that the son squandered all his inheritance, throws him a big old party. The younger son, who stayed faithful to the dad, stayed with the dad, is upset and is like, why are we celebrating this fool that said he wanted to go out on his own and obviously is dead broke and now wants to come back home? Okay? And the dad tells him that, he's happy that the son came back, and Jesus uses that to say that, God is happy when his sheep return to him, so to speak. Okay? So Pastor Osteen was saying that the father didn't go look for the son, and that the son had to pretty much hit rock bottom before he realized that he needed to go back home, he needed to change. So, although this is a story told by Jesus as well, when he was telling that story and using that to make his point, because I don't know if that was the same as what he was saying, I thought about various proverbs that Jesus used as well, various verses, and I came back to Matthew chapter 3 verses I believe 29 through 40, where Jesus was talking about if somebody sues you for your coat, give them the other coat. And